Good morning, everyone. Let's see what's going on in the markets. We're going to talk about the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P 500. There's a lot of stuff going on, bloodbath in the markets. Before we get into it, I want you to hit that like and subscribe. It really helps me grow this channel, so appreciate if you can hit that like and subscribe. Let's get right into it. Let's figure out what's going on. Let's start with the Dow. It's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of negative sentiment. Earnings are in focus. But let's get right into it and see what we're looking at from a technical perspective and see where things are. So here we are with the Dow, and let's kind of zoom in and figure out where things are headed. Maybe I can do let's see. 1 year, 5 year, okay, that's 3 year weeks. Let's see, okay, 1 year, okay. This is the 1 year candlestick chart with my Bollinger Bands on. I got the moving exponentials, the 50-day, the 40-day, and I'm not sure why I have the 30-day on this, but I usually don't follow that. Let me remove that. Okay. Alright, so with that said, let's get right into it. See what happened, right? A lot of the stuff, and technically, right, we had those lower highs that I was talking about, lower highs. This thing actually never broke the previous. This was the next high that it might have gotten, but splat. The last few days, this is what's happening, right? Remember those red candles that I talked about over the weekend? If it goes back up, this is what it would have had to broke, and it didn't, right? It tried, but then it splat down. Now we are looking at this as a next target down, right? 32,616. This is likelihood where the next support area is. So if we're looking at further south, this is where it is. I mean, if it tries to consolidate, I mean, we're looking at this area right now as the immediate support, which I don't see. I mean, if anything, it'll probably be this right here that is trying to hold in with this low, right? That's what it's trying to hold, and if that's the double down, the double bottom, immediate double down, then there's a support area, right? But it's not. I mean, we have one over here, we got another one over here, and another one over here, right? So that's what we need to watch. If it holds, then that'll be the next support. I doubt that. It may hold. It might further complicate things with the overall market. It all depends on where the actual earnings are going to take it, right? Usually earnings dictate the next few weeks, and then we've got the Santa Claus rally that is going to try to hit. What do we got? So if it were to go back up, we're looking at, I mean, if this is the support, we're looking at the 23 being right around this area. That's where it's going to target if this becomes a support, but I don't think that's going to be any time in the near short-term future. If it does, all of this will require some profit taking, and that profit taking will bring it back up to in this area. With that said, we are below the 50-day and the 200-day, and what we're looking at now is trying to find an area. So even, let me remove, I don't know why I have this Bollinger. I did properly. Let me make it a little bit thicker so that you guys could see. Where the Bollinger Bands are. Okay, so the upper band is here, this is the middle band, and we're right along the lower band on this. So as it continues to ride this, if it were to go up, we're looking at, remember that number right here, where it might take some time to get to, but that's where it could go. But before that, the next leg down support area is right around here. Ideally, in situations like this where the market's been going down, I'd like to look at other things as well. I mean, I'd look at RSI, see how much of it's oversold. We're hovering around the bottom, right? In this area, it's still got some breathing room for to go down further. We have the cross about to happen. That's gonna, the 50-day is gonna go below the 200. The death cross is right around the corner, and we get further downward pressure from this cross, right? So you know, sentiment is more downward pressure. So if you're looking at stocks, maybe, you know, if you're on the sidelines sitting around in cash, probably a good time to look at cheap opportunities. Let's look at the ES, see what's going on the ES. Pretty much similar situation. We had, you know, all these upper highs, and then you got these lower highs, and then these two had these anomalies, and then further lower highs. Broke our support area that we were talking about over the weekend, and now it's riding on the lower Bollinger Bands. It's on its way down. All the 50-day, the 200-day, as well as the mid bands are all up over here on the top. So in order for it to go back up there, there's a lot of resistance in that area, but before it does, I'm thinking it's going to gravitate towards this 23.6 number on the fibs. And as you can see, that could complicate things further down for the S&P. So there's still some legwork that's going down. We got the RSI pointing down, going towards oversold. And then you got the cross over here that we're looking at that's still, you know, got some further room downwards. So that's where we're at. If you're looking at any opportunities to get long, we do have some support in this area, maybe you can add some here and then add some here. That would be an ideal thing. If you think that you may not reach the next leg down, you can add a small fraction. Remember, I follow the rule of thirds. You take some in here, add some, and then wait for it to go back up, and when it does, you take the profits. That's how that works. The rule of thirds, if you don't know, you know, follow my course. I will guide you to how that rule of thirds work. It goes both in adding positions as well as, you know, setting up your trades to sell. So that's the ES. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Okay, so NASDAQ, again, same thing. We got this big jug handle going down. The fibs, it's across the 38.2, which was support, which was major support for us over here, and that got crossed. So now we got this leg down here, which it is holding. Let me actually get rid of this. Out of line. Let's take a look at this support over here, which we have. And in NASDAQ, slightly different story, right? We have this support here. We crossed the 38.2. However, we got the 200-day moving average, which is right around here. The 50 days all the way up here. 200 is right around here. So this could be a major support for the NASDAQ. Okay. Now, things could turn around and then it could go back up for some profit taking. But those definitely could be fake rallies, so you want to be mindful of that, because once you hit some of those fake rallies, you might get to a resistance point right over here, and then in the next few days you may have the mid band coming down, the 50-day coming down, and if that happens, there could be some additional resistance points, right? So you want to be mindful of that. But that's, you know, short-term profit taking. You can definitely take advantage of that. Once if this support area doesn't hold and this 200-day moving average doesn't hold, then we're looking, further downwards, right? We're looking at this next leg down. There could be an interim leg right around this area. If you look at this over the highs over here, that could become a support in this area. I can actually put that down and see if that will actually hit. So right around here to right around here would be like a support area, first leg down, before some profit taking could happen, and then if that doesn't hold, the next leg down would be down here. So that's what's happening. Again, if you're looking at buying and for long term, there's definitely some opportunity here for you to take and add small, right? You wouldn't add major because if this market is on a downtrend, which you can clearly see, there could be some further movement downwards. Be mindful of that. And then, when you see on the MACD, when you see across, right, obviously, if you were to go out and look at how many times or how far has it gone down, you can see that given this indicator right here, you can say that, okay, you might turn right around this area once there could be a cross possibly, right? And if that happens, it kind of coincides with this area, with this support area as well. So there could be some room for going back up. And that could take days. Obviously, earnings season is full force, so be mindful of that. All right, so let's look at a couple. Actually, before we look at a couple of stocks, let's take a look at oil. Remember, I talked about oil when the war started originally, and look what happened. Right, I have the fibs on this already. It went down and then it up with all the war stuff, and then obviously, that's all profit taking. Everybody's going to take some profit. And if as the war continues, this I would say, going to go back up to 86 an area, right? This is people taking profit. You got 83, and then soon enough, as the price increases, you're going to have other countries start making things like making informational posts such as, oh, we're going to produce more barrels per month, or we're going to release some of these from our reserves, things like that. When you start seeing that, boom, it's going to pop up. Okay, actually not pop up, it's going to go down a little bit, and then at that point what's going to happen is you're going to see conflict on the other side saying, hey, you know what, we still need higher prices. They'll start stop taking or drilling or taking out more barrels and whatnot. And it's a game. This is a game from the east and west, and depending on the big oil makers, how they want to profit. It's really out of our control. But if it's very crucial to watch and listen to the news cycle for oil, because it all depends on who wants to make more money, right? Depending on situations across the world, and nobody really cares about the little guys when it comes to oil. It's all about the big guys, and a lot of them control this. So there could be some opportunity for buying oil, as it will definitely go back up into the 86, 87 area. Right now it's only 83, so there's definitely going to be rooms upward. All right, so let's take a look at some stocks. Okay, let's look at Tesla. All right, Tesla had a big news cycle this past few weeks with the earnings season. All right, this was right around this card, and then there was a splat. All right, so where do we have? It broke our support, and then it actually hovered back up to the support area. Okay, so you got the 200-day over here, 50-day over here, looking like they want to cross each other. And so, what do we do from here? What's the next leg up? I mean, we're on the oversold area. We have, a big ride down over here on the MACD. It's possible that, there could be some room downwards. I mean, the next leg down would be right around this area, which it's already hit, and then after that would be this, and then this, right? So this would be the next leg down. I doubt that it will get down here, but if it does, it would be definitely a good buying opportunity. Certainly, with all the bad cycles in the news, there's Cybertruck news coming out as well. So that Cybertruck news, initially there's going to be some negativity. People are going to smash it, this and that. So there's going to be a good amount of negativity when it comes to that, and that I would say would be a buying opportunity. So long term, Tesla still a good buy. Apple, what's going on with Apple? We had a big leg up for a fast few months, and then splat down, and then now we got the sideways business. Let's see, a lot of our resistance held in past few days. It's going to come down, and so what are we looking at? Are we going to buy, or it's further south? Okay, so we got RSS coming down. Volume's been mediocre. There's some momentum on the downward side for sure, but I don't see it going substantially down. I think if anything, it'll go down to like 167 area. Definitely this area, add some money, add some positions, and then try to bank it right around the 77 areas if you can. But certainly, next few months, this is a good opportunity to buy. And lastly, the big one. Alright, so what happened with Microsoft? Obviously their earnings smashed it. Alright, look at this. 269, 68, 299. Okay, so it actually blew it up. We're at spike up on the upper band. 200 days here, 50 days here, mid bands here. Now here's the thing. Right, even though it popped up, there's going to be some profit taking. Okay, so definitely keep an eye on profit taking. Let me get rid of this. So when there's profit taking, you look for opportunities to get in on that profit taking cycle. So big spike up, I would say buy around this area. 335 would be a good area. Even if it comes down to like 337, probably a good idea to buy. As I would say, definitely going to keep trying to reach for this high. That's the next target, only because they've done substantially well. And, first and foremost, I'll hit this target, 351 for sure. So, $10 up, and then the next leg up here is 58. Then the next leg 62, and then up. Right, slowly it'll creep. Obviously it's going to go in cycles like boom, profit taking, and then boom, right? So momentum is upwards. I would say any downward pressure on the stock, get in. All right, with that said, I leave you here with what's happening in the markets. I put out a mid-week sort of end of the week post just because of the turmoil, the negativity, the big drops, in the market equities. I want you guys to see what's going on. I generally don't post, how much I'm making or whatnot. It's just because I am not allowed to post. Just from a legal perspective, disclaimer perspective, and that's why you see those legal disclaimers in the beginning of the video. So be mindful of that. When you're making these trades, if you look at it at a higher perspective, take it back, look at it on a daily chart before you get in on the intraday. You want to see where it's going, and based on that, you can make trades on the intraday. All right. Let me know if you have any questions on that. Happy to answer it. Leave me a comment, subscribe, and like this video. Thank you so much. Price is King.